Welcome to Around the Diamond, everyone. I'm Marvin Jackson. Jimmy Williams will be joining me later in the show to talk about how the Metropolitan Junior Baseball League is working hard to expose more black kids to baseball, just like it was back in the day. But first, Dwayne Sims is here to talk about what is new with the Negro League's Legends Hall of Fame. Good to see you, my friend.
Always my pleasure, my brother. You know, I love being around the diamond all the time.
Dwayne Renal Sims, everybody knows that name. You are the founder of that organization. And first of all, though, there are a lot of young people that don't know about the Negro Leagues.
Yes.
Talk about that. Let's give a little history lesson.
And it's very important that not only the younger people, but there are those who have been baseball fans, no matter what color you are of the rainbow, they've never even heard of the Negro League. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go even further than that. 1920 is when we actually recognized there was the Negro League, National Negro League, founded by Andrew Rube Foster back in 1920. But here's a good thing how Maryland, which I live in, I'm a resident in Bowie, is connected to that. Before Rube Foster founded the Negro National League in February 1920 in Kansas City, he actually chartered it in Maryland prior to making that announcement. So that's how important in 4 other cities, but that's how I'm connected to that history. So prior to that, they don't talk very much about the Colored Professional League. That was a league that was organized. I have a collection called the Rutherford Hayes Jones Collection. He lived right here in the nation's capital. And at that time, back in 1903, 1907, our history is not even recorded. In the nation's capital and the surrounding area, we had millionaires. We had actually millionaires that could afford to have, he had his own baseball field. He also had a barbershop. He also was in the business of the Colored Professional League and also buying and purchasing his own jerseys and all these records. So that's one of the surprising things we're going to do on the 17th, just to warm you up a little bit about it. But the Colored Professional League, I want everybody, you can't even Google it. You can't even really find too many books on it.
Yeah, you know, you had to have black businessmen to run these leagues.
That's correct.
And there were quite a few back then. A lot of the players and the stats and stuff like that, they were not documented. But now the Major League Baseball has said that they're going to include the Negro League baseball statistics. So now Josh Gibson is probably the all-time home run hitter now. And there are going to be more people who are going to become like, I'm thinking that Cool Papa Bell, who was my favorite player, he might end up the most triples. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking the same way.
Because he was so fast. You know, he could, when he turned off the light switch, he could be in the bed before the lights
That is so
got
true.
off. That's how fast he was.
I remember Buck O'Neill from the Kansas City Museum always would share that story. One of the other things about it is, like, when I first got involved back in 2003, I was not really aware of the unknown history. But as always, the question is, well, where did y'all find those records all of a sudden? So our black newspapers, we had back in the 1920s and prior to that, we had like 15 black newspapers from New York to Pittsburgh, the nation's capital, to Baltimore. They kept and covered these games. So I've always said, all they had to do is go do your homework. Being a lay historian, I go do my homework. So with this stat thing, and this is one of the things I want to share with you, my Rutherford Hayes Jones collection includes teams from the Washington Giants, was not really a major league team, but we also had the Chicago American Giants, the Philadelphia Giants, also the team out of Pennsylvania. And I actually have their letterhead with the business owners' names on it, them talking about, oh, how are we going to do business? Who's going to get the funds? I even had one letter say, oh, you know what? They probably never go for colors to play baseball in the nation's capital. HU letterhead in this collection, doing business at Banneker Field. So these are the things that do exist. I know there's some people that may have them. Don't just give them away. Do your homework, because it's very valuable to our history. It's usually oral, but no, we can actually prove it when you see that physical paper, and that's what I have in the collection.
The great Willie Mays, who was a Negro League player
That's
before he
right.
played
Birmingham
in the major
Black
leagues.
Barons, that is
Before he
correct.
played in the major leagues, he played at was it Richwood Field?
Yep.
Down in Birmingham
With
with the Birmingham team.
That's correct.
The great Willie Mays has passed, and
Yes.
I just talked to a guy who was a coach for me when I played in college, and he had played in the National League.
Okay.
And he played against Willie Mays, and he told me recently that Willie Mays was the greatest player he ever saw.
Had the skills and everything.
And this is a guy, who played with him. So
Right. And I agree with you. A lot of the players, I've met over 110 players that played back in 1924, 25. And one thing I can say about Willie Mays and most of the people, Monty Irvin, they came out, Roy Campanella, these names started in the Negro League. Willie Mays at 14 years old, his father was also involved with baseball. So you can imagine the knowledge like our young people would gain from these seasoned players, never got the opportunity, but they played for that love of the game. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
And the first thing I want to say is when Willie Mays signed that little contract, that little bus brought him from Birmingham right up to Hagerstown, Maryland. I kept saying, right here in Maryland has a lot of history.
Before he went
that's
to the
right. He
Giants.
played in the minor
Yeah.
league there for the Trenton Jersey team.
Okay.
So there we go. Again, how important our area is involved with not only history in baseball, but the economics in our community. Because we had the Baltimore Eli Giants right up in Baltimore. They actually beat the Homestead Grays down there from downtown.
Right.
Which Homestead Grays was not a Washington team, they were a Pennsylvania team.
Right, but
Better
they
believe
played
it.
at Griffith Stadium.
More money, bigger
More
stadium.
money,
Come on, about
right, there you
economics.
go.
Come on, brother.
Exactly.
Yes.
And people would come out.
Yes,
big
they
time.
did. Yes, they did.
Yeah. My dad told me about that.
Wow. And I wasn't there.
Yeah. Hey, Willie Mays, they called him the Say Hey Kid.
Yes.
So the great thing about Willie is he was a 5'2" player. He could do
Yes.
it all. He could play. He could hit.
Yes.
Hit with power. He could run.
Yes.
Field and throw.
Correct.
So just for these young people that don't know what that means, that's what he was.
And then we're going to talk about what's happening with the
Okay.
Hank Aaron 50th
Let's talk about
anniversary.
that now.
Hank Aaron also played in the Negro League.
Exactly.
Indianapolis Clowns for about 3 months in 1952. But I did my homework just for you. You know you are knowledgeable. One of the things is Hank Aaron almost was going to go play with Willie Mays with his contract for the New York Giants. And what happened is he got $50 more. That's why he ended up with the Boston Braves. He would have been with Willie Mays' teammate.
Okay, whoa.
Now that's
that would have
deep.
been something.
Did my homework.
The two greatest players.
That's right.
Really
Would have been matched
would have
together.
been matched together. Yeah.
Right.
We had some great players back then, but let's talk about what's coming up with you and what you have here too.
Yes.
Because you showed me something. You have Joe Durham. on
Yeah,
here.
we wanna
He
talk
was-
about Joe
He was
Durham?
one of the first. He was him and another guy. Were
That
the
is
first
correct.
Baltimore Orioles.
Jay
But they
Hurd.
played in the Negro League.
Chicago American Giants right here, but it's
Right.
not even, it says Baltimore Orioles. And
Yeah.
Jay Hurd played Birmingham Black Baron. A lot of great ball players came out there. And then we talk about, they came to the Orioles back in 1954.
Yeah.
So I'm a collector of things.
And this happened.
Oh yeah, 1920 Negro League, National Negro League,
And that's where Willie played, right?
American Giants, but he played for the Birmingham
Oh,
Black
well,
Barons,
okay.
which is the jersey,
The
down in
jersey
front of
down
us,
here,
right
the
there.
jersey.
I did bring my
If somebody can
Ebbett
get a shot of
Field,
that
get a shot of these
jersey.
Ebbett Field jerseys. These are actually handmade, just like they used to do back in the day from Ebbett
Okay.
Field. And you can see it's like almost like a wool, and this is what
It's-
they
it's
wore.
Great material.
Yeah, but they wore this in the,
But
in
it
the
was hot in the
springtime. It was
summer.
hot in the summertime. Yeah. But one of the things is that we are going to do is we're going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Hank Aaron's stamp here in the nation's capital in Bowie, Maryland, at
Okay.
the Prince George's Stadium, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning.
And that's August 17th.
The 17th. And also the
Okay.
post office will be canceling those stamps. And if it wasn't for Maryland Park and Planning and the Lafayette Credit Union, then we have the Washington Informer, you can get your free tickets right now, right at www.mcpa.org. NLLHOF.org. And you all are going to post that anyway. So I've given all the tickets away. I got 7,500 tickets available to my public, my community, which I love, which is my dream as a child, to actually let them come. And then we have an auto car show also. We have,
and what time does that start?
The car show is at 10 a.m. That's
at
also
10.
free.
Yeah.
And that's the Master Cruise is coming in with these classic cars. And also I have, I tell you what, I'm not even going to tell you. You need to come out there and see it yourself.
It's a lot of fun. If you haven't been there, it is so much fun.
It's an experience.
And you're going to have one of the Negro Leaguers there, right?
Well, my godfather, he has passed now. He won't be making it. But Levi Champy Drew played for the Indianapolis Clowns, and we're going to show the film. When he was on that bus doing his barnstorming, he would say, "We hung up Hank Aaron's 44 on the back of the bus." That's how they rode.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be up there calling the game for you.
Yes.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks, Dwayne, for
Always.
being here.
My pleasure.
And again, August 17th.
That's right.
You got to come out and check this game
Bowie,
out.
Maryland. And actually,
Prince George's
Bowie will be
Stadium.
canceling these. Oh, sneak peek. Oh, not going to say. If you don't look quickly, bam, it's gone. That's a sample. Be ready.
All right. Always fun seeing you,
Appreciate it,
Dwayne,
sir.
and always fun having you here.